Welcome students, we're going to talk about the first lesson in a new unit. So this unit is measurement of 2D and 3D shapes. And today's lesson we're going to talk about composite shapes, breaking up shapes composed of smaller shapes and finding the area of each of those smaller shapes, adding it up to get the total area of the composite shape. We will also deal with perimeter in this lesson as well. Okay, so let's begin with this do now. Let's write out each of the formulas for area for these shapes. So the area of a rectangle is going to be A equals B times H, where base times height. Now the area of a triangle is going to be 1/2 that. 1/2 base times height. The area of a parallelogram, and if you remember, a parallelogram looks something like this. It's kind of like a rectangle, but like pushed onto the side. And so the height of a parallelogram would be from here, from any point on the base to the top, and the base would just be the bottom. That's a parallelogram, and the formula is actually the same as a rectangle. A equals base times height. Lastly, we have a circle, and so the formula for a circle is pi r squared. One other important formula of a circle you need to know is the circumference, which is 2 times pi times r, or diameter times pi. And while I say diameter, let me mention that diameter is equal to 2 times, diameter is equal to 2 times the radius. So if you have the diameter, to get the radius, you got to divide by 2. And to go the other way around, you got to multiply by 2. Okay, the next thing is, how do you determine the perimeter of a shape? Well, the perimeter of a shape is just the outside. So you would add up all of the length of all of the edges, and that will give you the perimeter. Now the last part, divide the composite shape into smaller shapes to see if you can find the total area. So if we divide this up, we could slice it right here and right here, and you can see if we find the area of this rectangle, and this triangle, and add them together, we'll get the total composite area. So in this lesson, we will determine the area of composite shapes. We're going to break down complex shapes into their components, determine the area of the pieces, and then add them together to get the total. And we will also deal with perimeter. These kind of questions are very common on the ACT. Okay, let's try our first example here. We're going to find the area and perimeter of this shape. Now notice there is a half circle on the left that was kind of pulled out of the right hand side. So if we were to replace it, we can see that the area is just going to be that rectangle, 8 times 4. And so that equals 32, so that's going to be our area. Now perimeter is a little bit more tricky. To find the perimeter, we need to find this length right here, this curved length, which is going to be the same as the curved length on the other side. And then the length at the bottom, which would be 8, and the length at the top, which would be 8. You cannot just add 8 and 4. Okay, 4 is not on the outside of this shape, so don't just add 8 and 4. Let's find what this curved distance is right here. Well, if I took that curved side and the other curved side and put them together, I would get a full circle. And the circumference of a circle is diameter times pi. In this case, that's going to be 4 times pi, and that's approximately 12.6. Remember that pi is just a number, 3.14 approximately, and you can actually put that in the calculator. So this 12.6 represents the full circle, or this side and this side together. So we just need to add 8 plus 12.6, and we can see that we get 28.6, and that is our full perimeter. So this was our area, and then this is our perimeter. On this next one, I am only going to find the perimeter on this one. And so let's determine this curved length at the bottom. Notice that it is another circle, but this time I only have half of the circle. So I'm going to do diameter times pi is going to be the circumference, and I get 12 pi. If I calculate that, it is approximately equal to 37.7. But keep in mind I got to divide that by 2 because I only have half of this. So let me divide it by 2, and I get 18.8 approximately. That is this length at the bottom. Then I just add the other sides, 18.8 plus 15 plus 14 plus another 14, and I get the total is 61.8. And that is going to be my perimeter. I didn't find area on this one because it was a little bit complicated. But you will have to find area and perimeter on both of the practice examples. Okay, so at this time, go ahead and work on the Desmos activity. You'll notice that there are 4 questions, really 2 questions, area and perimeter on both of those questions. Go ahead, solve those questions. If you finish that and you feel good, you can work on the Delta Math assignment, but otherwise that will be counted for your attendance. Let me know if you have any questions and if I can be of any assistance.